Hey guys, so if you want to like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to click the notification bell to be notified every time I post a new video. If you want to follow me on Instagram and link on my Amazon storefront, I will leave everything linked down below in the description box. So this video is going to be a little hectic in the sense that I will not remember a lot of the things that just happened yesterday. For me, it's been a day since I had my court hearing, April 17th. So obviously this is my first time going to court. This obviously is very different because I went for court for Social Security disability and I got rejected like twice. So this is the third time, and you go up in front of a judge and state your case and all that process. So because of this, my lawyer wanted to meet up with her like 30 minutes before we were supposed, no, sorry, not 3 minutes, like an hour before we were supposed to like meet up with like the judge and to do this whole entire process thing. She wanted to go over the questions, and so some of the questions I remember was, like, if I were to get a job, specifically, like, what do you think what would be a good reason for you to be in that job? Or like, aka your weakness and strengths. Obviously she didn't say like those words, exact same things that I said, but I was just basically saying, oh well, like, I'm afraid of a cash register and like money, and I'm not very good with math, and like people scare me, specifically people my own age, and was telling her that I like adults more because I feel so much more comfortable. And like another question was like, oh, do you get along with people and school and like driving and my headaches and my medical problems, basically, and that whole entire process of my entire life. So I was just basically telling her all these things about like school, like, oh, I didn't really like school, and she would say like, why didn't you like school? And I was like, well, because I wasn't in the correct classes, or like the people weren't really nice, or like they were nice but I didn't make friends and all that stuff. So I was just really explaining to her, going over the questions, wanting to prepare to make sure I like knew what I was going to say beforehand. Turns out I didn't realize that when we actually went in to court, he didn't actually. I'm so tired. I'm gonna go to bed after this. Probably not, but I'm gonna try to go to bed, but realistically not. Moving on. So we went in there, and I was really surprised that he didn't like ask like all the questions that she and I were talking through, and there was like, I mean, obviously in the beginning, before, I think like in March or February, I believe, I'm pretty sure it was like March or February, we had a Zoom call with my lawyer, and she was like talking over the entirety of these questions, and there was like a ton of questions. So obviously I don't think he was gonna read, like, let's say there was 50, I don't think he was gonna say, like, he was gonna ask like 50 questions, because that would literally take four freaking ever. But I was expecting there to be like a lot more than like 5 or 10. But honestly, it went by really fast. The only annoying part was, for me, it's just like waiting, because the process was like, we got there inside the room, and we were just trying to set up things, make sure everyone was present, and then he said my name, and no one can say my name correctly, and then my mom had to say her name, and so like we were just getting confused. Not really me, but like it seemed like he was getting confused on how to like pronounce my mom's name and like my age, and wanting to like triple, quadruple, make sure basically like my age, well, not my age, my name. Oh, my brain is freaking fried right now. So that process was just a little annoying, because I'm an impatient person, and I was really tired, and I kept yawning like, I'm about to do it now. So I will say, one thing that really shocked me is, like, not shocked me, well, kind of shocked me, meaning in the sense that, like, when it happened, it was like, oh, that there was these little machines that actually turned on and had like a red light and was recording it. Literally said recording is in process or something like that. Basically recording the entire like hearing, which makes sense, you know. I was just not like expecting that. I was expecting more like there would be like a camera, like, you know, like a security camera, and then that's how you get it. But I guess, you know, there wasn't. I mean, maybe there is, and I don't know where it is. But to me, it didn't seem like it. So I'm trying to move fast. Moving on. So he was asking me a bunch of the questions, like mainly it was all about like medical and mental health, and he kept mentioning like, oh, mental health, and my lawyer was saying, well, it's all intertwined, basically, meaning that everything I deal with, like my depression and all my medical problems and my headaches and stuff, is all intertwined and with my autism. And so it was just kind of really hard for me to explain to him exactly what I have, because I can't even explain it for you guys or for like even my doctor. Like, I literally can't explain it. So one of the things that was like really hard for me to explain was like he mentioned like my headaches, and like he was asking like how much do you get them, and like how long do they last, and it's just like I don't know how to explain this, because me explaining it is basically I have it every single day, but sometimes I don't get it, and then sometimes I do get it and it's like super painful, and then it goes down and then it goes up, and so like it was so like hard for me to explain it. And I finally got to the point where I was like, this is my baseline, I'm at a level 5, or like 0 words from 1 through 10, I'm at a 5, and then some days it can go up to like a 10, and then you can drop, and then you can go back up and down, basically. So that's what I said, and he finally understood that because he is like a literal person. He literally takes everything literally, which is good to know, because my lawyer said that beforehand to my mom, and we're kind of like worried that like, oh no, what if we say something wrong, and then he gets really confused, and then I get confused, and all that process. So basically it was, honestly, I don't know exactly how long we were there, probably like at least like an hour, like specifically like inside the actual courtroom, maybe like less than an hour. Like, it's not, we weren't there for a really, really long time. But basically because of that, my brain's not working, sorry. So actually my mom was able to stay with me while I was like testifying, which was pretty dang cool. Because we were like worried, we were pretty sure that my mom was gonna have to like go outside of the room. So turns out he said no, she can stay, which is really cool. And so when my mom had to testify, I wanted to stay there, but obviously we talked about me leaving, so then I was gonna bring up the fact, oh, can I stay? But then I just didn't want to make it like more complicated, you know, because we're running on time, and so I didn't know if that would be a problem. I'm sure if I asked, I don't think it would have been a problem, but I just didn't want the words. I just wanted to make sure. So because of that, I left, and then I came back in there and, you know, asked a few more questions. I believe so. No, sorry, my brain's getting fried again. Before I left, my lawyer asked me a couple questions of like, oh, like, have I dealt with like depression and mental health and all that stuff? Anyways, so we finally ended it, and it seemed like a very good end note, like on a high note, and he was like very much like, this is good. Like, he seemed very kind and my brain, sorry. He said that I was very kind, and he was glad to meet me, and, you know, I did all that stuff just because I'm very vocal and I can verbalize a lot of things, which is, speaking on that, I actually asked my mom, like, what did she talk about, like, when I left the room, and he was asking her just, you know, about like, how do you describe your daughter, and all that stuff. And so my mom actually was telling me this in the car, and she was starting to cry, which makes me want to cry, but like, I'm not gonna do it right now, obviously, but I wanted to. And she said like, Brenna desperately wants to be a normal person. And when I say normal, this is me talking. When I say normal, I mean a person without autism. And that meaning also is because with my autism, it creates a lot of problems. Like literally everything in my life, if I didn't have autism, it would be fixed. Obviously, I would have depression still, I'm pretty sure. I don't know actually. But I just know that because of my autism, it causes a lot of problems for me. So, I'm gonna end this video here because this video has gotten super long and I feel like I barely explained anything, but I also explained everything to you guys. So, I hope you guys like this video and I'll see you guys next week. Bye guys!